Hey guys, so for our number corner lesson today, we'll do a little bit of catch up on our number corner board. So last time we left off with our what looks like the Canadian bacon and pineapple pizza that had one, two, three, four, five out of six pieces. So only one out of six was taken. So that's what we ended up with. So again, looking at our patterns, what we had seen develop, we ended up with the pizza. So what should be next? So what should be next if we're looking at our patterns, and then how many? If you need to pause again, it's a great time to do so. So remember, there's 12 numbers on our clock face. Each one is 5 minutes. So 5, 10, 15, 20. And we have 10. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. 10 out of the 12 minutes, or 10 out of the 12 numbers, or 50 out of the 60 minutes that were used or represented here. So we have 10 out of 12, or 50 minutes out of 60, right? Because there's 60 minutes in and out. So we're looking at today's. What should it be? We had a clock face last time. What should we have with this one? Need to pause. All right. So we have our carton of eggs. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then we don't have the last two filled in. So 10 out of 12. Much, again, like our clock face. A dozen eggs. You hear people, a dozen eggs, a dozen cookies. A dozen is 12. So we have 10 eggs, and there's a dozen. This is a dozen. It's an egg holder. It's missing 2. So 10 out of 12 are there. Somebody's used 2. Maybe to make some cookies. All right. So we will do tomorrow's. So we have the eggs. So what might be next if we're looking at our patterns develop, right? So we have a ruler. Again, this is out of 12 inches. 12 inches is a foot. That's a common measurement. We have 1 through 10 marked out. So 10 out of 12. What's an equivalent fraction for 10 out of 12? We talked about that last time. Let's see. So we have, remember, we have 10 inches, 10 eggs out of 12 inches, or 12 eggs. So what's our equivalent fraction for 10 out of 12? Remember the strategy that I said we could do, something that you can do on any fraction. See if you can reduce it, make an equivalent fraction, one that is equal to. We can divide the top and bottom number by the same number. And this we can do by 2. 10 divided by 2 is what? How many times will 2 go into 10? 5. And then how many times will 2 go into 6? I'm sorry, into 12. 6, right? So 5, 6 in this case would be an equivalent fraction, okay? And it would be the same one for these 3 here. So we had 10 out of 12, 10 out of 12, 10 out of 12. So 5, 6 of the clock is being used. 5, 6 of the eggs are here. And then we have 10 inches, or 5, 6 of our ruler there. Okay. So we're going to show you just another strategy that we can do in our math. If we have a single number by multiplying by a double-digit number. So take a look at this number, this equation, and see if this equation would be the same. So a half. So notice I have my equal sign here in the middle. 4 times 50 is equal to 4 times 5 times 10. take a moment to pause and see if these two equations, if that would balance out. If 4 times 50 equals the same thing as 4 times 5 times 10. So again, if you need to pause for a moment, do so, okay? So we have 4 times 5. I'm going to write out my 4 times 5. Then I'm going to do a parentheses separating this part of the equation. 4 times 5 times 10. All right. So we have 4 times 50. We have 4 times 5 on this side is 20, right? 4 times 5 is 20. And then that would be times 10, right? So we have 4 times 50, 4 times 5, we figure that out as 20. 4 times 50 would be 200. 10 groups of 20, 20 groups of 10 would be 200 equals 200. So what you can see what I did here is I have 4 times, I have 5, and then I just made, what I did was I have 5 groups of 10. And that's what I did here. So we can have 4 times 50 will equal 4 times 5 times 10. So let's see if we can do the same thing with one more group of numbers. See if you can maybe do this as I go through. So we have, so 3 times 60. What could I turn 60 into? 3 times 6 times 10, right? So 3 times 60 will equal, 3 times 6 is what? 3 groups of 6, 6 groups of 3, 18 times 10, right? So 3 times 60, 3 times 6, we figured that out, was already 18. So 3 times 60 would be 180. 10 groups of 18, 18 groups of 10. Count by 10, 18 times. You have 180. Okay, so that's just a real quick strategy that you can do when you have multi-digit numbers times a single-digit number. And these happen to be our friendly numbers. If it was by 5, or if it ended in a 5 or ended in a 0, we can make it that and make a friendly number, which is basically what these numbers were. So that's just another way you can multiply a double-digit number by a single-digit number. Okay, so make sure you take the multiples of 6 quiz, and then also I added today a number corner quiz. Okay, and there's a trick question there. Make sure you watch the video, which you already are doing. All right, you guys have a good night.